Hi, welcome to my channel and welcome back if it isn't your first time. I'm Naomi and this is Sew Nao, and I like to talk all things sewing here. I usually share either kind of sew-alongs or reviews of my makes, patterns or my plans. But today I thought I would show you my sewing space. So recently had a clear out, had a bit of a tidy, so I thought it was the perfect time to show you my sewing space. If you're like me, you like having a nosy around people's spaces, then I thought I would show you mine. So this is the bit that you normally see in my videos, which is my sewing desk. So my sewing space is actually in our bedroom. I've got a nice big bedroom, and so I've kind of got one end that I've slowly taken over. So I'll show you different parts of the room and the different bits of my space. But this is my my desk at one end, and I've kind of got this end of the room. And of course, pride of place, my sewing machine. This is my Pfaff. So I have a Pfaff Ambition 620, and it's the best investment I ever made. I love my sewing machine. It's just dreamy to work with. There's very little I can find fault with this one, but the back stitch can be a little bit, have to press it to stop it a couple of times. It can be a little bit, it could be a bit more sensitive in my view, but other than that, can't fault it. I have a Naomi 9300DX, and I love it. It works well, it's reliable so far, and yeah, it's easy to use. I love that one. So I actually have a lot of my tools up here, so I'm going to move the camera a little bit and show you my tools and things here. So it does look a bit like a jumbly mess, but this is my handy space. So I keep all my threads in these little clear boxes. This is an IKEA board, a pegboard, and some of the tools that came with it are useful and some little holders are not, but I got more of these because I love keeping my threads handy because I change threads a lot. And then there's a tray here for kind of bits and pieces. I keep my pins on there, quite handy, and scissors and my Frixion pens. I love Frixion pens for marking because they're a bit more precise. And then I have patterns I'm working on up here, a bit of an out-of-date desk diary there, haven't updated that, various tools, my applique scissors, love these are brilliant, and washi tapes I keep up there, and then my scissors are all hanging here, and my snips are always little snips, always right in front of me, really handy, so I just reach up and grab those. Rotary cutter and various tools. I always have these handy as well. These are my Prim turners. I love these, really handy. Paper scissors and whatnot. And then next to it, you've probably seen, if you've seen my videos before, is my planning board, and I keep projects that I'm working on. This is a little bit out of date actually because I've finished some of these, but I put up projects and fabrics and I match the fabrics with them. So I've got fabrics up here that I've got in my stash, and then I kind of match them to things as I'm working on them. I'm working on a few here. Some of these need to come down because they're finished, and I'll be sharing those in my next video. And then I'm just going to tilt down the camera a little bit. I have some drawers here. These are another IKEA buy. Just going to close my laptop down. These were bought years ago, and I keep lots of things in here as well. So I have like kind of pins in one. I have all my bias tape in one, bias binding, which is all out here at the moment, lots of it, because I'm making some colour choices on my current one. And then things like zips and various bits and pieces in there, fastenings. I've got a lot. So my gran was the dressmaker, and I inherited a lot of pieces from her, so you can see there's probably like 11p in Woolworths. because though we grew up in Ireland, she used to come to England quite a lot, so there's some, yeah, Woolworths and lots of old haberdashery in there, which I find hard to part with. It does have a little bit of a musty smell sometimes, but yeah. So that's this side of things. I also keep some on the window there. You can see some boxes. I have my kind of pens and things when I want to sketch things out. Got some boxes for extra stuff, and my mannequin, and there's my working on a winter coat at the moment, if you see my other video. Okay, so that was that end of the room. The wardrobe's behind, and this is the other end of the bedroom, and I keep my passions in here. I've tried to find shelving down there that fits, but I can't. So at the moment my PDF passions live in here, so I keep them in these plastic wallets which I reuse, and I just put name of the passion on there, keep all the pieces inside. I can flip through those when I want to remake them. So I've got a basket of all my PDF passions, even like self-drafted bits, keep in there, and they're handy. I bought these, bought these in the Works. In the UK we've got a place called the Works, which they're like £1 for 4, and they are plastic, but I reuse them, so I don't feel too bad about buying those. And then I just put stickers on those. Got another one of these little containers. I'm going to bring it up close because this is one of my favourite things. This is my button collection. So I've got all my, some I don't have as many colours, so all my buttons by colour. You can see some of them are from my grandmother's collection. They're still in bags. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of buttons, purple buttons. I do collect buttons, so when I go to places like charity shops, like thrift shops and things, and yeah, anything like that, I collect nice buttons and add them to my stash. I do find with vintage buttons that sometimes you find like 3 or so. It's not always, can't always find loads, but yeah, any time I go somewhere with nice buttons, I get a bit giddy, and that's my button stash. I recently redid my shelves over here, so you can see there's these shelves here, which I'll show you in a minute. I might have to move the camera up and down a bit for that one. But these drawers down the bottom, I have moved my passions in here. These drawers were given to me by my sister years ago, and she used them for her kids, and she had them in an old flat, I think, and they probably could do a bit of a paint, but I haven't got around to it, and the bottom needs to be fixed, and they're very old, but I do love them. And I have my paper passions in here, so I can flick through them easily. So I've kind of got my modern passions, things I've made in here, and then I've also got kind of my indie passions in here, which I normally buy as PDFs, but I have a few in there. And then I have a collection of my vintage passions in there, which I do find for my size it's often hard to buy passions in my size, so kind of buy things with a view to resizing, and yeah, doesn't always work out that way. But yeah, I've got a few vintage, and at the back I've got all those ones that I think I'll probably swap at some point, so keeping those for a passion swap. And then other bits of PDFs that I'm working on in there, just kind of handy to the ones that need to be cut out, nice flat place to keep them. Oh, so fabric. I don't have a huge fabric stash. I mean, I think I've got, probably my husband would disagree, but I think a lot of people have a lot more than I do. But this cupboard, yeah, it's kind of grown a little bit. I can show you that in a minute. And then I've got all my sewing books along here and along the bottom. So I actually recently pulled these out from a box because they were hidden away, but I've got my sewing magazines down the bottom, and I've got a huge collection of these as well, which are 1980s, I remember them the first time around, patterns. It's like a passion book. So there's a book that comes with it every week, and then all the passions inside. There's some really, really cool designs. but discovered after buying a number of them that the sizing guide wasn't in them. It was only in one, so I had to find number one to get the sizing guide. And then when I did, I discovered that it was up to a kind of a current size 16, which I'm not. So yeah, I've kind of, maybe one day, or I you know, some of them are nice enough that I will have a go at sizing them up a little bit. But yeah, I love those. There's some really cool designs. If you're interested in seeing more of those, I could share some of those one day. But yeah, they're really, really cool. And then of course my favourite magazine, Fibre Mood. I do the link party for Fibre Mood. I'm really passionate about Fibre Mood. I think they are an amazing value magazine. There's like usually about 12 passions in there, and yeah, I love them. So there is I'll pop a link below for Fibre Mood, which I am affiliated with, so if you click on that link and buy anything from there, I get a small bit of commission. But yeah, love Fibre Mood. So up here as well, you might notice I've also got my knitting magazines, not magazines, books. So I've been knitting longer than I've been sewing. I've been knitting since I was really little, and yeah, I've got quite a few knitting books up there, and had to kind of filter out a few over the years. But yeah, so got more. Also got, oh gosh, yes. So these belonged to one of my grandmothers. Not the grandmother who's a dressmaker. My other grandmother, my dad's mum. I've got these Golden Hands books. So these were her original collection. There's like 5 folders and some really cool stuff. There's sewing, there's knitting, there's some really crochet, tapestry, all sorts of things in those. And I love every now and then just pulling them out and having a look through and think, oh, what could I make? And then yeah, not. There's some really great, you know, knitted flares. Everybody needs knitted flares. So yeah, I love those. Yeah, so fabric. I'll show you my fabric stash. So this is not easy to do with the dimensions of this room, but I will do my best. So this is my fabric cupboard, or most of it. So I've got up on top, I've got boxes with various bits and pieces. So my tailor's ham, but I've got things like boxes of trimmings, box of beads, various bits and pieces, overlocking thread I keep up here as well. And then I have my fabrics that I'm kind of working on next. So I know some people keep their fabrics by cottons and jerseys and things like that, but I don't really have enough to do that, so I keep them in kind of what's coming up next. Then I have a shelf of, when I started sewing again as an adult, I started quilting. So I've got quite a few quilting pieces and fat quarters, which I was using for masks, and I use for making gifts or pockets or adding little bits in. So yeah, I've got my fabric stash there, my little old Snoopy, that one of my old, very, very old toys, sitting on the shelf there. And then I've got some fabrics here that I will be working on soon as well. I've got some lovely, from Fabric Godmother, some lovely leopard print. I think that might be a blouse. They didn't have enough for me to make a skirt, which I was planning, but pop that back in. And then down the bottom, I will take the camera down a little bit. We have other projects I've been working on that I've kind of put aside for a bit, and then fabrics down the bottom. So there's those fabrics, the kind of little smaller pieces, I guess, that yeah, they're not, I don't really keep anything in here under a meter, but yeah, those are kind of bits and pieces or things that have been cut out and put away for a bit. And then some other fabrics that are kind of summer ones that I will come back to in the summer. There's a bed sheet there I got in the charity shop, quite a large double bed sheet. Yeah, so those are kind of fabrics that I'm not going to be working on anytime soon, although those were shirts for the boys that I need to get on with at some point, because we're going on holidays in February. Yeah, so I'll take you back up. That's the shelf of some nice pieces, some rainbow fabrics ones you might recognize there. Got some lovely viscose twill there that I'm going to make into maybe a dress, but these are the ones that will be coming up soon. So just to show you up there and to show you every detail of this space, these boxes, also IKEA, are full of smaller pieces of fabric. So I don't like to get rid of bits of fabric, so they're kind of grouped by, I've got boxes with quilting pieces for that when I finally have the time to do that paper piece quilt that I will make one day, but there's also things like my other crafts are in there. So there are embroidery bits and needle felting and all the other stuff, but there's also like boxes of things for costumes for the boys when I'm making costumes for school and things. So there's like random bits and pieces, but it is organized chaos, and there's more in the other wardrobe, but yeah, and then other bits around in terms of, yeah, I mean, if anybody's interested in, I've got quite a few sewing books and craft books. If anybody's interested in me sharing some of those one day, please do pop it in the comments. I do keep here my gosh, very dusty, my different folders from my fashion and dressmaking course. So yeah, some of my bits and pieces and research and designs and things from that, and I've got all those books. It's kind of one of those things that I can't really put in the attic because it was a lot of work, and while I wouldn't sit and look through them all the time, but you know, it was something that I really loved doing, my diploma, and put a lot of time and effort in. So yeah, those go on the shelf as well. So keep those on there. So really, there isn't much room for my husband's things in our bedroom, poor man. Yeah, it's mostly my sewing bits and pieces. So that is my sewing space, really. I think I've shown you everything. There are more boxes around up there. There are my blocks hanging on the side of the wardrobe. But yeah, that's kind of it. I've got all my cutting pieces, cutting rulers and things down the side. But yeah, I hope that was interesting. And if there's anything that you want to know more about, or where I got anything, please do just pop a comment below. If there's anything you'd like to see more of, or you're interested in this one here on my sewing desk, this fabric is from the rag shop, sorry, and I'm very excited for making this one. But it is a Fibre mood link party one, so I will be sharing that one as soon as I'm able to. So I'll be making a video on a few of the dresses I've made recently. I've got 3 dresses that I've made that I'm really 2 dresses I'm really happy with, and one that I'm hoping I'm going to be really happy with when I've finished it. So I'm going to be sharing a video with my 3 dresses very soon, as I can. And also my coat that has been on pause for a bit because I had some other projects. I'm going to finish that and make some more videos. If you haven't seen that one, I'll pop a link to that one. But yeah, I've shared the making of the coat so far. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and love to know what you think. Anything you'd like to see more of, please just pop in the comments below. But if you have enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate if you like and subscribe, because it helps to share my videos, and I love making these videos. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.